On your server there are jobs and there are processes that run as background processes. To get an overview of all of those, you can use the ps command. If an ordinary user runs ps, he will see just his own processes. If the user root runs ps, he will be able to see all processes. PS has many options, and I like showing you PSAUX, which basically shows you most of the processes that are running on this system. Because it is going to give us much information, I'm piping it through head, which gives us the header line as well. So what we see here is first the name of the user that started the process. Next, every process has a unique process identification number, the PID, which you can see here. PID number 1 is systemd. This is the first process that was started by the kernel, and that takes care of starting all processes. Then we have the amount of CPU usage and the amount of memory usage of this process, and we have some information about memory usage. Linux processes use two kinds of memory. There is the virtual memory size, which you can see here as VSZ, and there is a resident memory size, which is RSS. Just consider virtual memory the amount of memory that has been reserved by this process but hasn't been really allocated in RAM. The resident memory is memory that has been allocated in RAM. Then you can see the TTY, which is a terminal that the process is running on. For normal commands you will normally see a terminal. If it's a background process you will see a question mark. Then we have the current status of the process. Most of them are in the sleep status, which is indicated with an S. We have the start time, the total amount of time that the process has been running, and we have the associated command. Now if you're looking for a process, what typically is the most important part of information is the PID, because as I will explain later you can use the PID to do process management. So you would do PSAUX grab something. Let's try HTTP, which shows us all HTTPD processes, which is the web server. So what we can see here is that most of the web server processes are running as user Apache, and this is the PID that is associated to the web server. You can see the CPU percentage and all the other information that we have just seen for the other processes as well. Let's have a look at the grep command, which has the status R, which means it is actually running. Well, it was running at the moment that the ps command provided this output. You can also see that it is associated to PTS/0, which is my current terminal, which by the way I can verify by using W. W shows me that there's a PTS0 device, which is a GNOME terminal. Session started as Lisa, but I have used SU- to become a root, and that is why we still see the user account of Lisa. So this is basically how you can see and get process information using PSAUX. On some occasions you will want to see relations to parent and child processes. Because if you terminate a parent process, typically all child processes will be terminated as well. You can use PSFAX for that information. So you can see here at the end of the list that there was a bin bash process that is started, and from there there's a -s that was started and another bash that was started and the command PSFAX that was running. Now in some cases if a sub process gets stuck, you just kill the parent process and the entire tree under the parent process will be terminated as well, which is a useful way of managing processes. There are many other switches that you can use with the ps command as well. I don't want to dive into them. Typically this is a command where you just make your choice of preferred switches and you stick to that, and if you're happy with that you probably will be able to get all the information you need by just using those switches. So don't make things too complicated.